Disturbing websites. Everyone has stumbled across one while browsing the seemingly infinite web, but what is the worst that you can actually visit on the surface web? Today we will be going over an iceberg that I created that showcases the worst of the worst that you should never visit on the web. From disturbing websites with unknown origins to seemingly illegal sites that could get you in trouble, this is the websites you should never visit. Iceberg explained. Started in 2001 by philosopher Nick Bostrom, the simulation argument is a website filled with articles and videos supporting the theory that we are living inside of a simulation. The site seems like lunatic ramblings at first, but some of the theories and ideas are actually pretty interesting, while some are very big stretches. Either way, I know some will feel a sort of existential dread upon viewing the site. The website is still frequently updated with new articles and examples from new media. This one's not too disturbing, but that's why it's first on the iceberg. AngelsHeaven.org, or also referred to as Heavenly Angels, is a UFO cult founded sometime in the 90s by Ivo Benda. The site is a single long continuous page with many text files and links to click on that give information about their organization. From what I gathered, their essential belief is that an alien humanoid named Ashtar will make contact with Earth to protect humanity from other aliens that will try to eliminate or enslave humanity. The website is unapologetically 90s, and it's still updated as of last year. My mind can't even comprehend some of the images that are shown on the site, as this one's more strange than anything. Only able to visit from the Wayback Machine now, as it was shut down in 2015. TimeCube was originally started in 1997 by Otis Eugene Ray, and was a pretty blank page consisting of his strange beliefs of his theory he created and dubbed TimeCube Theory. TimeCube Theory revolves around the idea that each day is split into 4 simultaneous 24-hour cycles. Otis claimed that his theory was shunned by the education system because they didn't want to face that it's true. The website itself is very plain with just a ton of long ramblings of his grand ideas with some hard to follow diagrams pasted throughout. This one really can't be defended as most of it seems like crazy ramblings by a madman, and there's no scientific backing on any of his claims, which I guess goes in with his point that science denies his theories, but nothing here makes sense at all. This entry refers to one of the more well-known sites on the chart. This person does not exist as a website that hosts a single image of a person's face. Every time you refresh the page, a new headshot of someone appears. However, none of these people actually exist, and all of the photos are being generated by AI. The site launched in February of 2019 by software engineer Philip Wang and uses an AI developed by NVIDIA to generate the faces. The images look super realistic, and the website kind of has an eerie tone with no sound effects or music being played, and just the lone pictures of the AI generated faces. Definitely don't visit this site if you have a fear towards AI. TheDeathClock.org is a website that started in 1999 and is a questionnaire of personal information such as your personal hygiene, BMI, and other lifestyle choices that once filled out will give you your date of death. Once it gives you your date, a countdown will begin to that date. For sure some freaky stuff, but definitely one of the more tamer entries on the iceberg. I could still see a lot of people getting freaked out from this one though. This entry, which is also one of the more popular entries on this iceberg, refers to the Heaven Gates cult's very own website that was started in the mid-90s. The cult, which I'll give a very, very brief gist of if you're unfamiliar with, was started by Marshall Applewhite and Bonnie Nettles in the 70s. They believed through Christian beliefs and science fiction beliefs that them and their followers must leave their earthly bodies behind to ascend to a true higher existence. Well, in 1997, the entire group committed based on their beliefs. Well, all of them did except for 2 members who were left behind to further share the word of the cult and preserve the website that they created for the cult. The website, which hasn't changed since 1997, contains all the large amounts of info on their beliefs and ideas, and also farewell messages from the members. Reading all of this after knowing what happened to them is pretty disturbing. Instacam was launched in 2014 and has gained a lot of controversy since its launch. The site contains live feeds from unsecured CCTV cameras all around the world. It targets cameras with poor password protection or cameras that still have the default passwords attached to them. None of the cameras are showing feeds of inside people's homes, thankfully. However, you can still see people on the cameras who have no idea that people are watching them. This site could strike anxiety if you see a camera in public because you don't know if any strangers from anywhere could be watching you from the other side. This entry refers to the Rule 34 website, which launched in 2007 and is one of the largest user-submitted NSFW content sites on the entire internet. Rule 34 is the made-up rule of the internet that if something exists on the internet, then there's NSFW content of it. The website is notorious for ruining people's perceptions of fictional characters or icons of the internet with gross NSFW imagery that users submit onto the site. Mr. Deepfake started in 2018 and is another NSFW website, except this site is different from most because it uses AI to deepfake celebrities and influencers' faces onto NSFW actresses' bodies. The videos can be insanely realistic, and the website even provides you with tools and tutorials on how to create your own deepfake NSFW videos. This is not right, and 99% of the people's faces you can use do not consent to this at all. As of the beginning of 2024, some states in the US have been trying to restrict the use of deepfake NSFW as AI rapidly grows. So not only is this entry morally and ethically wrong, but there could also be some legal consequences for it in the near future. Kekma.net is a troll website that started in 2020 and consists of a ton of flashing gory images along with a super loud screaming that plays in the background. The website goes full screen upon entering, so it's harder to click out of it, and there's even a fake "Are you sure you want to exit?" message that's meant to further troll those who visit the site. There's a link posted under the main image on the front of the website that takes you to an over 40-minute shock video that is extremely hateful as well. So yeah, some strange stuff. I seriously do not advise visiting this one. Enric's Angel Fire, which is hosted on Angel Fire, is a site that seems like a short medical information site revolving around a disease called Enric's. The disease is entirely fictional, but the site gives information on it like it's a real thing. If you click on the image of the, doctor, the text and image will start to distort, and it'll get more and more eerie as you click, before completely redirecting you to an image of a blue smiley face with text reading, "Please wake up. Thank you for visiting our website." There's a link at the bottom of the screen that reads, "Bypass login." When clicked on, it will redirect you to another page with a pretty creepy video, but the video is actually taken from an ARG based on the show Lost, so I guess they just stole it from that. Worldometers.info started in 2004 and is a world statistics website. The site contains daily and yearly statistics consisting of total births, total deaths, and many other things that would occur on the given day that you view it on. This site could give feelings of anxiety as you just watch this number move up and down on your screen while you know the implications behind it. TheBlackVault.com is an archive of over 2 million pages of once private documents by the United States government. Everything from assassination reports to UFO information can be found here, and it's insanely easy to get lost in the rabbit hole of some of the topics and documents. I guess I would say it's a good thing that all these private documents came to the public eye, but don't view this archive if you're easily inspired by conspiracy theories. It's also disturbing when you realize how much the government kept from the public eye and how much more they could be keeping private. Frazzle.rip is a site that contains a single creepy image of Hillary Clinton. The site itself isn't all that bad, but the backstory to why it's even a thing is pretty bad. Frazzle.rip is rumored to be the name of a video on the dark web of Hillary Clinton and her associates committing all sorts of evil acts on a minor. This goes back to the whole Pizzagate conspiracy, which is around the time the site started as well. This site is also rumored to spread malware to your computer, so for sure don't visit the site just for that reason alone. Or if you are going to visit the site, please practice safe internet habits. Why.info is an insane website that is pretty hard to look at. This site contains a bunch of different images, texts, and GIFs that mean nothing or have really anything to do with each other. Sometimes random eerie videos will play amidst the chaos, but again they seemingly have nothing to do with anything else on screen. Once you refresh the page, you'll be greeted with more and more random text and imagery. In the bottom of the screen, there's 3 icons that once clicked on, you'll be redirected to a page that houses the site's NFT collection. Each NFT costs 1 Ethereum, which as of the time I'm writing this is $3,109. EFUKT is a website that launched in 2006 and is an NSFW dark humor site. The site doesn't contain a lot of gore, but more so very gross NSFW content, along with some bizarre fetish content. You can find a lot of the old shock videos from back in the day on EFUKT, which is what I used to research some of the entries from my Things You Should Never Look Up Iceberg. So if you thought any of the entries from that iceberg were bad, just do not view this site. Galdrux is a website which revolves around the Galdrux cult's beliefs and ideas. These ideas are sort of complex, revolving around multiversal spiritual practices. The site itself contains these ideas while also containing spiritualistic practices and recruiting practices to join the cult. There's also some links you can click on that, once clicked on, bring you to long pages of random imagery that seemingly make no sense or correlate to each other. I find the art, while it's kinda crude and absurd, to be very unique with the modern techno-mysticism theme that they went for. Anyways, it's an incredibly long and mysterious rabbit hole that's pretty easy to get lost in. Goggle.com refers to a typo squatting site that would infect your PC with various amounts of malware. Typo squatting, if you're unfamiliar, is when sites have similar names to other popular domains in hopes that when you try to visit a domain, you misspell it and visit the malware-ridden site instead. In this instance, it was for Google.com, and as you could imagine, a lot of people fell victim to Goggle, as Google is the most visited website on the internet and Goggle is only 1 letter off. As soon as you would visit Goggle.com, tons of pop-ups would appear on your screen and it would be near impossible to click off of the site. Your PC would essentially be bricked just after a couple seconds of being on the site. It was truly a headache. House Creep is a website that contains a map of homes with a history of incidents like homicides and even paranormal activity. You can be region specific and see a list of homes around your area and see homes that you had no idea about the sinister history of. The paranormal reports are a bit out there, but it's still eerie to see what evil is going on in homes that could be right across the street from you. The information is very thorough on the site, although maybe it's best to sometimes leave things unknown for your own sanity. Superbad.com, no correlation to the film of the same name, is a website started in the late 90s and consists of a small intro at first that spells super bad. Once you click anywhere on the screen, you're taken to various random pages that seem pretty endless. Each time you click, you're taken to a new page, and each page is different and will have a different image and sometimes text. The lore seems to go pretty deep on this one, and it's still unsolved to this day. That's if there's anything to really solve. This one really does seem pretty endless though. I was clicking for a really long time and there was really no end in sight. There's also some creepy imagery that'll appear every so often, but it's nothing too horrible. This one's pretty mysterious more than anything. Rent a Hitman was a website created in 2005 by a man named Bob Innes. Bob originally bought the domain so that he could use it to start his own IT company. Once that didn't pan out, he, as a joke, decided to design the website as a Hitman inquiry form. Bob left the site alone after that, not really expecting anything, but about 3 years later in 2008, he decided to check the site's email and he saw countless messages of people inquiring about the Hitman service. Most of them were just jokes and didn't seem serious, but one woman from the UK was very descriptive and serious about hiring a hitman. She wanted to hire a hitman to kill 3 of her family members as they left her out of an inheritance. Bob did not take this lightly, and he forwarded this to the authorities, where she was arrested for this along with other charges. Since then, Bob updated the site with many things that would indicate that it's a fake parody site. However, that didn't stop many people from sending more serious inquiries for hitmen. Bob responds to the inquiries still with a chance to back out, but once they are persistent, he then forwards their information to authorities. Visiting the site is okay, but I would strongly advise against using the site's functions fully, as many people have been arrested for it. 8chan, which started in 2013, was designed as a more open alternative to 4chan, which basically means less restrictions than the already pretty open 4chan. In 2015, 8chan was delisted from Google after allegedly hosting tons of... And now a variation of the site is hosted on the dark web, with obviously now a ton more sinister content. On the surface web, however, 8chan was rebranded to 8kun, and again was taken down in 2019, but this time it was because it was supposedly tied to the El Paso shooting of the same year. LHOHQ, short for Laughing Horses Orifices, headquarters, is another massive labyrinth of pages that seem pretty nonsensical and absurd. The site hosts over 800 pages of conspiracies, random flashing NSFW imagery, and political ramblings. On some pages, it even displays supposed information of real-life political figures like Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, such as their phone numbers and different addresses. Blame It on Jorge has a good video delving into the rabbit hole of LHOHQ, so if you're more interested in this one, check that out after this video. Planecrash.info.com is a detailed archive hosting information on various plane crash accidents throughout history. The site has a map feature as well, so you can see exactly where accidents occurred all around the world. The site as a whole is pretty tame and has some pretty good information as it's very detailed about different aircrafts, except it lands on this chart because of the last words tab on the site. This tab features cockpit recordings of some of the last words said as flights were crashing, and it can be pretty devastating to listen to. One entry even includes a fully translated log of the last words from a certain crash from September 11th, 2001. Hidden Answers is the only true dark web site featured on the list, and the site works as sort of a dark web Reddit. The layout and UI is the exact same as Reddit almost, with the same upvote and downvoting system that Reddit has as well. The difference between the two, however, is that Hidden Answers hosts questions and forums on illegal topics, such as this person inquiring on how to recruit a money mule. I only wanted to include surface web websites, but I really thought this one was too interesting not to include. ObsidianSnow.net or HecateStation.net is another long labyrinth that you click through as it takes you page by page through its contents. There's cryptic random imagery and animations that appear as you're taken through, and there's even some files that will be downloaded to your computer depending on what you click on. Some of these files are rumored to be malicious, while others are just password-protected PDF files, probably meant for furthering the investigation on the site. This one still isn't solved to this day, despite the site starting over 10 years ago now. This one can get pretty eerie at times, so I would stay clear of it. Although if I learned anything from my Things You Should Never Google iceberg, you guys do not listen to my warnings at all. RunTheGauntlet.org is a gore site which is one of the last standing original gore sites that have been around for a while now. I obviously can't show anything from the site, but it's similar to the Best Gore site that was shut down, if any of you remember that. Run the Gauntlet hosts countless disturbing and gross videos, and new ones are posted every day. A lot of the old gore shock site videos from back in the day can be found on Run the Gauntlet as well. They're just renamed from the original names. Cannibal Cafe launched all the way back in 1994 and is an online forum dedicated to hosting discussions about the practices of cannibalism. People would post about their cannibal recipes, fantasies revolving around cannibalism, and even inquiries about meeting up and fulfilling these fantasies. While this sounds like some sketchy dark website, it was actually on Google and anyone could access it. In 2001, a man named Armin Muse was arrested after killing and eating a man named Bernd Brands, who willingly gave himself up to Armin to be killed and eaten. It's rumored that the two met on Cannibal Cafe, as Armin was a frequent user of the forum, but there's no definitive proof. The site was also shut down that same year. I'm sure it's because of the negative light that this case shined upon the website, although I don't know what they expected. I mean, it was a cannibal forum. Google.com is a... Alright, you already know what Google is. It's just on the iceberg as a joke, although since Google is a portal to all the other sites on this iceberg, I guess you could say it's, the worst website. That was the websites you should never visit Iceberg Explained. Please make sure you practice proper internet safety if you do decide to visit any of these sites. If you have a website I forgot about that you'd like to share, please let me know in the comments. If we hit 500 likes on this video, I'll make a part 2 where I explore only websites exclusive to the dark web. That's all for today. Have yourselves a damn good one.